Chris Sample for the state. May I proceed?
Please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself to the members of the jury, spelling your last name for the record.
Of course. My name is Rory Shelton. Shelton spelled S-H-E-L-T-O-N.
Mr. Shelton, what do you do for a living?
Well, first I tried the whole college thing, but after about 8 years and 145 grand, I guess there's no such thing as a doctorate in entertainment sciences. So I settled for a job as Rock the World's mascot.
How are you involved in today's trial?
Well, I was at the park on August 30th. The day was robbed.
We'll get to that robbery in just a moment, Mr. Shelton. But first, do you know someone named Whit Bowman?
I do. I do know Whit Bowman. I work with him.
Do you see Whit Bowman in this courtroom today?
Yes, I do. He's the gentleman on the far left with the darker gray jacket and the lighter gray pants.
Your Honor, let the record reflect the witnesses correctly identified the defendant.
So, reflect.
Now, when did the defendant begin working at Rock the World?
Well, we actually started at the same time in 2011.
Do you know someone else by the name of Cameron Poole?
Yes, I do. I also work with Cameron Poole.
When did Cameron Poole begin working at Rock the World?
The very next year, in 2012. And I know that because it was the same year that the knockoff wristbands started circulating.
Objection substantially more prejudicial than probative.
There's absolutely no foundation for the opinion either, so I'm going to sustain that objection.
Motion is right, Your Honor.
That's great. You can go on and explore that. Somehow it's not correct.
Mr. Shelton, you just mentioned knockoff wristbands. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Of course.
Objection testifying to facts not in evidence.
What do you say?
Your Honor, you just told me to have the witness explain what he meant by that, and that's the question.
So you're trying to provide a foundation?
Yes.
Of course. You see, at Rock the World, we have two types of wristbands, a standard admission and a world tour admission. But in 2012, a third wristband started circulating among those that looked just like the world tour, but was different to the train method.
Would you recognize the wristbands in 2012 if I showed them to you today?
Of course, as the mascot, I take pictures on a constant with these wristbands, so I see them all the time.
I'm showing opposing counsel states 3. Let the record reflect on I'm handing the witness the same.
Thank you.
Would Your Honor like a courtesy copy?
Actually, no. Let's wait till you see if you can admit it.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Shelton, what have I just handed you?
This is copies of the 3 wristbands that were circulating in 2012.
You talk to him, don't show me the evidence
Oh.
at this point, please.
Okay.
I'm the judge and the jury at this point. It's a little failure I had earlier. You've got to give him permission to publish that.
Okay.
To the jury.
Okay.
And Mr. Shelton, the wristbands in front of you, do they appear to be a fair and accurate copy as the wristbands that you saw in the year 2012 at Rock the World?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to admit the evidence, states 3.
No objections, Your Honor.
Be so admitted. You want to publish those at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. Would the judge like a courtesy copy himself?
No, we can look at this one. It's fine.
Your Honor, permission for the witness to step down and make use of enlargement of states 3.
Please.
Thank you.
Mr. Shelton, can you talk to us about the first 2 wristbands on this blow-up?
Yes, I can. These first 2 wristbands are the normal wristbands that circulate throughout Rock the World. This top one is the standard admission wristband. Costs about $20, allows general access to the park. The second wristband is Rock the World's World Tour Pass. It's a VIP type of pass. It allows access to shorter lines, and it also allows pictures with me, the mascot. I promise, it's worth it.
Mr. Shelton, tell us what you know about this third wristband.
Of course. This is the third wristband that started circulating in 2012, the knockoff, if you will. It looks very similar to our World Tour Pass, but there are 3 key differences.
What are these differences?
The material that this third wristband is made out of is much flimsier than the materials that the actual wristbands are made out of. As you can see here as well, the color is actually faded, and the biggest tall tale is the lack of the serial numbers here that you see on the World Tour and the standard admission.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. You may take your seat.
Thank you.
Shelton, after you began to notice this third wristband circulate in Rockville, what did you do?
Well, I used the pictures that we take and I positioned them behind the ticket booth. I was hoping to overhear some conversations with them.
Did you ever once hear conversations between the defendant and Cameron Poole?
Yes, I did. I heard about 3 of them, as a matter of fact.
Tell us about the first one.
Well, the first conversation, I heard Whit say to Cameron that I'm almost out of my version of the World Tour wristbands. Things are going even better than planned.
Mr. Shelton, when was this conversation?
That was towards the beginning of the summer, I'd say maybe like later June.
Talk to us about that second conversation. When was this?
Well, the next conversation takes us to August 29th, which is the day before my birthday.
What did you hear Cameron Poole and the defendant talking about?
Well, I heard Whit Bowman ask Cameron Poole if he had a knife. And when Cameron said he didn't have a knife,
Objection, hearsay.
Just gonna wait for that.
Can the opposing counsel clarify as to which statement they're objecting to?
I think it's the one he was just saying.
Cameron Poole's statement? The state is not offering the statement of Cameron Poole, no, for its truth value, but the actions that the defendant took after Cameron Poole said no, after he believed that Cameron Poole did not have a knife.
Your Honor, I didn't respond, I didn't object, I don't object to the hearsay statements by Mr. Bowman as they are an admission by a party opponent. But the statements by Cameron Poole, I do object to, specifically that he did not have a knife at that time and therefore would need one.
Your Honor, as I argued, the state is not offering the statement of Cameron Poole for its truth value asserted, but the subsequent actions of the defendant and what he replied.
I don't see, let's sustain.
Mr. Shelton,
yes.
what else did you hear what Bowman said in this conversation?
Well, I heard Whit Bowman tell Cameron that he was going to bring him a knife the very next day because he might need it for a job.
Did you see the defendant give Cameron Poole a knife?
I did.
When was this?
The very next day on August 30th.
Where did you see this happen?
Well, I was on break, so I was trying to ride some of the rides, and I was actually in line for Whit Bowman's ride, getting towards the front by the control panel, and I saw Whit Bowman say, it's time to teach Longstreet a lesson. And as Whit handed Cameron a knife, he said, it'll serve him right. You need to move quickly because your window is small.
After you saw the defendant give Cameron Poole a knife, what happened next?
Well, that's when Rocker was right.
No further questions, Your Honor.